Texas opens his second half with a pass play and a sack. It's the first of the season for Ben Banigou, the Big 12's preseason Defensive Player of the Year.
Flipping over to the defensive side of the ball for Viking-specific draft needs. I'm Luke Inman. That's my boy Sam Ekstrom. We're here in the ZoneCoverage.com studio. Let's get to it. You know, when it comes to defensive end and edge rushers, I think the Vikings right now bringing back Everson Griffin into the mix. Of course, Danielle Hunter, one of the best up-and-coming edge rushers in the entire league. And then, how good was Stephen Weatherly in replace of Everson Griffin for 10, 11 games?
Unbelievable. And I think right now the Vikings need just one more. Maybe it's a situational pass rusher. Maybe it's somebody who can play a little bit of end, a little bit of three technique. I think they need one more in that rotation to add to Hunter, Griffin, Weatherly. You know, maybe it's Tayshaun Bauer. Maybe it's Ofadio Denebo.
Jalen Holmes from Ohio State.
They have bodies on the roster, certainly. Let's add one more to the mix here as part of that rotation, or maybe someone who can fill in if Griffin leaves after this season. Maybe they can't sign or re-sign Stephen Weatherly, planning for the future. A couple guys in day two, Luke, take me through them. Chase Winovich, Charles Omenihu.
You know, when we did our tight end video, I said Kaylee Waring might have the highest stock moving upwards. Chase Winovich is putting that to the test. This guy is an overachiever. He doesn't necessarily have the best athleticism or the best length. The guy goes 110% on every single play. His motor is unstoppable, is through the roof, and this is the guy on Sundays you just don't want to line up against. He will wear you down for all 4 quarters and then laugh at your face at the end of the game. Winovich from Michigan, he might be long gone. In fact, I've heard rumblings, despite early in the process being a round 3 type of guy, talent, no less, I think he could sneak into the end of the first round. Nonetheless, at very worst, probably a top 45, top 50 pick. He may be long gone if he's sitting there at 50, though, Sam. You mentioned it, they don't need one, but adding Winovich's motor into Mike Zimmer's front seven, I just think that would be a lot of fun. Charles Omenihu, a guy from Texas who I've personally had my eyes on since the beginning. A great draft crush for me because of how good he is at defensive end and how great he was when they kicked him inside the defensive tackle. He's more of a run-first type of player, which I personally still love in today's day and age, but when they gave him the green light to just go after the passer, this guy was a lot of fun to watch. You talk about getting his untapped talents tagged up with Andre Patterson, the defensive line coach. That is something that I, again, would love to see.
Day 3 pass rushers, Vikings love them. That's where they found Jalen Holmes, where they found Stephen Weatherly, where they found Everson Griffin. Will they find one on day 3 this year? Max Crosby, a guy that I'm focusing on out of a smaller school, Eastern Michigan. Get this, over the last 2 years, 18.5 sacks and 8 forced fumbles. 8 forced fumbles in 2 seasons. That's unbelievable. Top 20 on PFF in pass rush and run stopping. Doesn't have too many weaknesses other than he didn't play for a big name school.
Yeah, this guy, Ben Banigou, here's the thing. Athletically, get Andre Patterson and Mike Zimmer as many just athletic balls of clay that you can get, like Danielle Hunter's, and let them flourish. This is your guy. Remember him from TCU. That's the guy that the Vikings, could have way higher on their radar and end up being a 3rd round kind of pick. That's how much athleticism this guy has. And they surprised us with Danielle Hunter in 2015 in the 3rd round. They could surprise us with a guy like this from TCU with just how athletic he was. And I'll tell you right now, if they pulled the trigger on a guy like that in the 3rd round, get excited, because they clearly have some big plans for a guy like that, like Danielle Hunter. Anthony Nelson rounded out from Iowa. Big, huge, sat down with him at the Senior Bowl. The guy is a monster, towers over a lot of offensive linemen at 6'7" and change, was one of the most productive pass rushers in the country the last 2 seasons. You can kick him inside during nickel rush situations. I think he'd be a great 3-tech. Again, him, Omenihu, even Winovich, guys that Vikings are going to love their position flexibility.
We've got Vikings-specific videos for every position. We've also got top 5 positional videos. It's all part
of ZoneCoverage.com.